Blessed day, soul family. Welcome back. Martial Mystic Calendar Series for 2026. And it is Tuesday. So we are looking at Tai Chi Chuan today on Tai Chi Tuesday. And the theme for today is going to be the mystic rhythms of the soul. The martial mystic rhythms of the soul. And I'm really excited because we're going to be looking at the yin and yang of movements and how that can connect us to moving meditation, connect us to relaxation, rest and digest, parasympathetic response, syncing of the chi, down regulation in movement, right? So, remember that in Tai Chi Chuan, the goal is the reunification of the spirit of nature. The ultimate goal in Tai Chi Chuan is to harmonize your energy with the energy of the natural universe. And in order to achieve this goal, you must regulate your spirit, Tiao Sun, to a firm, strong, peaceful, and enlightened state. Strong, peaceful, and enlightened state. So remember that the unification and harmonize with the energy of the natural universe and the reunification of the spirit of nature is essentially upon death, knowing that at the end of this physical life, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, you go back to the earth. The body goes back to the earth. The spirit moves on. The spirit, now outside of the physical body, needs to blend with the energy that's around us. Remember, we have a broad definition of energy, the energy that's all around us, a general definition, and then more narrow definitions of earth energy. Um, there's all sorts of energy. There's ghost chi, there's earth chi, there's um, wei chi, external chi, or ward off chi, the auric chi. So the body's aura. So that's the goal. In order to reach one's goal, you have to have the habit. You have to have the habit. In order to make a habit, you have to have a discipline. In order to fulfill a discipline, you have to regulate. You have to do the work. So, in order for us to train the spirit to blend with the to let go of the body vessel and to blend with the spirit of nature, we have to teach the spirit how to let go easily. Hence, when you hear Buddhist philosophy, learning to let go, you have that as a tenet, a common tenet, because attachment leads to suffering. So attaching to the body is going to lead to the dissonance of the spirit and the soul reunifying with nature, right? So, how do we create these conditions? This is the beautiful nature of the Tai Chi Chuan system and methodology. What we have to do is look at the movements. We have to look at the movements that regulate this reoccurring pattern of yin and yang processing. So we'll look a little bit into the yin and yang and we'll understand that yin and yang is a part of nature. Yin and yang is symbolic all around. Yin and yang is relative towards context. So, in the same way that the day can be split into yin and yang, Even the season can be split into yin and yang. If we were to go into this example here, the the yang growing cycle at 6 a.m. you have sunrise. Yang is at its peak at noon, and then when yang reaches its peak, there's the dying off phase. So we need to learn the phases. Now the yin starts to come in, 6 p.m. sunset, and then we have most yin at 12 a.m. Most yin at 12 a.m. That's the most of the that's the deepest of the darkest. And then from there, just as everything else has to cycle back to the complementary phase. So this could be called um, the four phenomena of movement, the four phenomena of yin and yang cycle. So the everything has a birth and everything has a death. The growth and maturity phase, the decline phase, and the death phase. So for me, living on the mountain, meditating daily, training Taiji Chuan, practicing Gong Fu and martial arts, but also learning how to grow flowers and vegetables and fruits, I got to connect to the natural process of life and death in a simple tulip bulb. Watching the tulip bulb, I got to see, oh, everything has a bloom and the bloom has a peak and then it shrivels and dies off. And I guess that connected to my soul because I had the intellectual realization that I will have a peak too, and then I will have a dying off phase. I believe my physical body has reached its peak. Now I'm trying to cultivate my spiritual understanding because that's the dual cultivation of the monk warrior spirit and lifestyle. So the birth phase is the lesser yang, the xiao yang. That's the sprouting phase. Then we have the Tai Yang, which is the greater yang, leading to the peak phase. The Shao Yin, the small yin, lesser yin, and the Tai Yin, going into the darkest, deepest yin, the greatest yin or greater yin, lesser yin. And this now, what we do is say, okay, in the Tai Chi Chuan movements, each movement has its own life and death cycle. And this gives us the opportunity to experience, embody, sense, and feel the cyclical natural process. Natural, because we want our soul to connect to the natural rhythms of the universe, as the body is a micro of the macro universe. So when we look at the movements, each movement of Tai Chi has its own growing, its own birth phase, its maturity and growth phase, and its decline and its lesser yin and greater yin. Each movement has this, each posture has this Pong, Liu, Ji, Yan, Zai, Lie, Zhou, Kao. Those are the main postures of the Tai Chi Chuan form. So, what does that mean? So that's all the theory, right? What we want is embodiment. We want to have the experience. We want to experience the movement. So what we have is the core movement. We have the core movement of each posture. If there was a core movement of each posture, what would that be? So let's look at what Dr. Yang says about um, the the spine and the torso. So the physical center is a clue. The physical center of mass is a clue because the body is a tool. That's why we have what we call the real Dantian, the lower energy center, as a point of reference. So here's what Dr. Young says about let's look at aging, okay? Because we're talking about the life and death cycle. We cannot stop our physical degeneration, but we can slow this degeneration process down by providing proper care for our body, according to Chinese Qigong, to slow down the aging process. We must maintain the strength of the physical body, yang aspect, and learn how to increase the storage of qi, energy, in the body. That's the yin aspect. Managing the energy to preserve the energy. Because if you burn it, you don't have you have less heart rhythms and cycles, if you will. Normally, the health of our physical body can be achieved through the physical exercises and the storage of qi in the lower dantian, and they can be obtained from correct breathing and meditation. When these yin and yang aspects of the body are cultivated, then the health and longevity can be expected. So, here let's look at the degeneration of the spine in the lower back results from gradual wearing down of the bone or soft connective tissue over time. It can result from a reduction in the circulation of blood, and that brings oxygen and nutrients. So we want that circulation of blood. Degeneration is most likely to occur in the discs, or the which are the cushions between the bones, the vertebrae, or in the cartilage of the uh, joints between the vertebrae. In fact, both disc and joint disease are they eventually present together. Degenerative lumbar spondylosis refers to both. So disgeneration can happen even in the early 20s, but we have to look at the how we address the joints and um, how we can how we can balance the degenerative process. So what we have is we have the spine wave, and the spine wave is uh, was passed down as a secret in martial qigong culture. Han Shong Ba Bei, to arc the chest and bow the spine. In order to arc the chest and bow the spine, you have to close the chest and you have to close the spine. This here would be the root of martial power and martial capability and manifestation in movement. Turn off my Wi-Fi. So that's why when I started learning Tai Chi and Qigong with Dr. Yang, this was the first movement that we learned. And this is the first movement that we would teach to any newcomers. We call it the spinal wave. I call it the root of all movement. And this is an introductory course. I have this playlist on my YouTube, Spine Wave Qigong, Spinal Qigong, as the root of all movement, whether it's Tai Chi, Qigong, or even Gong Fu. In my calendar Tai Chi course, I've I've taken out a few postures. Here's now, I'm doing this with my partner Nona and her friend. I'm teaching them in this movement. This is free on YouTube, Tai Chi and Qigong with Javi and Nona. And we're learning this. Now you can see how there's a slow fluid, cyclical quality to this movement, similar to the uh, similar to the yin yang, right? A growing and a maturing and a declining and a dying off phase. And so, what we first try to do is embody that within the spine, feeling that growth coming from the root. So, sometimes the root can be the tailbone, sometimes the root can be the feet, whether you're sitting or standing. But then allowing that growing, maturing, and declining, dying off process to be embodied within the torso first. Here we start to now embody the quality and the movement meditation capabilities Taiji Chuan provides us. And then we coordinate that with the breath. In the on movement, we looked at this last week. This is in the Taiji calendar series. You see how on, which translates to settling of the wrist, is rooted also in that spinal movement. Here you can see the tailbone moving, spinal moving, and then the arms and hands follow, right? Spine moving, arms and hands follow. In Taiji Qigong, we equate this to the internal ball moving the external ball, the internal ball moving the external ball, right? The internal ball is the uh, middle, or sorry, the lower dantian, the lower energy center, to manifest the outer ball. This image might be better, might give you a better idea. In order to harmonize the external ball, what connects the external ball to the internal ball? Well, if you trace it back, it's going to be the fingers, wrists, arms, shoulders to the spine. If you trace it from internal to external, it's going to be the spine. And we call this the Mingmen in order to uh, garner the chi, right? When we start to regulate the chi, we open this Mingmen, the life door, and lead the chi out the shoulders, finally into the arms, hands, and fingers to the outer yin yang sequence. I'm going to pause this here and come back. And we're back here. We live off grid, so we had someone fixing our hydroelectricity. Hopefully it comes back after we get some rain. So it what is what is it about this movement? We in order to in order to connect to the spirit of Tai Chi, in order to connect to what the scholars were trying to provide, we have to do the movement. And in order to feel it, sense it, embody it, we just have to do the movement. This is one of the newest videos that I uploaded. And what I guide here is the focusing on the negative, the yin side of the movement. Notice how the arms are moving in a circle. This is similar to the movement I just showed where I'm wearing the green shirt on. There's basically the same movement. But here in this video, what I'm guiding is to sense and feel the yin side of the movement. Remember, the yang side is that which is growing out. The yin side is that which starts to die off and return to center. So for me, Connecting to the mystic realm, connecting to the meditation is in the yin side, the yin quality and the yin aspect of the movement. We need them both, but the yin is connected to the yin side of also ourselves. So I wanted to provide this and share this aspect because it's very important. It's very important to try to embody the yin yang of the movement because yin yang connects us to Tai Chi. Yin yang connects us to Wu Ji. When we when we are doing our meditation before we go into movement, we are in Wu Ji. When the mind starts to initiate the movement, it starts to come from where? The general. The mind initiates the movement. And then finally, we have yin and yang start to split and represent. We have yin and yang in the lower upper energy centers. We have yin and yang in the lower legs and the upper arms. We have yin and yang in the left leg, right leg. We have yin and yang in the left arm, right arm. Yin and yang continues to break down and break down and break down until we have the myriad of things until we have the yin and yang of the hand when we're closing or gripping or seizing or we're opening. We have the yin and yang of the arm, we have the yin and yang of the shoulders. And so this then gives us the opportunity to create the conditions for the moving meditation and the flow state. As each movement has its growth cycle, its death cycle, each movement is connected to the other. It grows, it dies, it grows, it dies, it grows and dies. And in this way, the Tai Chi form itself, or your Qigong session itself, is essentially one long movement contained by and comprised by, rather, a series of smaller movements, yin and yang movements. Now we start to get the quality of harmonics in the sine wave in the moving meditation to give us what we are striving for, which is the flow state. So this is why we prolong and continue repetition, movement after movement after movement um, of each movement, of each posture. So in this case, I'm repeating the internal balls movement as it's propped up on the left leg, right leg, left leg. How does the internal ball get influenced and remain? Notice the circular pattern, the yin and yang aspect of the internal ball. I have my hands there as reference. That is the engine of the Tai Chi movement. That's the engine of our Qigong movement. That's essentially the engine of the moving meditation as well, where each movement is connected. Now we start to go into the arms and the hands. Each movement has the same core, well, each posture has the same core movement, the yin yang, spinal articulation. It's just the arms and the hands express the nuance of the core movement. So that's something to realize and and simplify to make easier the Tai Chi movement methodology and the Tai Chi structure and the Tai Chi process. In this case here, we're looking at a movement that is um, from the third part, which is the more advanced part of the Tai Chi form. It's called Fair Lady Weave Shuttle. And all I'm doing is holding the arms in place and just focusing on the spinal articulation and the internal ball engine, if you will, holding and feeling just the yin aspect of the arms and not allowing the yang to fully express in the arms. Yin and yang are fully expressed uh in the in the center, but see here now you can see yin and yang are growing and dying off from left to right. Notice the hands fall and then they grow, yang, fall, come to the center, grow. You see the figure eight pattern forming with the hands, through the hands. Notice the circular aspect, the four phases, the four phenomena, lesser yin, maturity, growth, greater yin, greater yang, lesser yang, lesser yin, greatest yin, so on, so forth. Now, and I would say I'm moving a little too fast in order for this to be a moving meditation. This is a little bit too fast. But now, when we want to start to enter the mystic realms, we want to really slow this process down. When we slow this process down to the point where we're barely moving, we're moving at the pace of the sun and the moon. Now we start to embody the moving meditation aspect. And that helps us to now get into the mystical realms, if you will. So I wanted to show you this. This is just like a yin and yang little image that I came across in the research. What are we looking at? We're looking at two energies that are colliding, two energies coming from seemingly nowhere through their small tails to their larger heads, leading by the head, leading with the head, the yang and the yin coming together. Once they clash, now you start to get this image. Eventually, what we want is this image. In the human body, it's this image. So I hope that makes sense. And let me know what you think. That is the methodology and the practice and the power and the miracle, I would say, of Tai Chi methodology, the mystic rhythms of the soul. Tai Chi Chuan as a martial arts for the soul. We have martial arts for wrestling, kicking, joint locking, takedowns. Here we have martial arts for the soul. Tell me what your thoughts are. Remember, to embrace the woo, and until next time, may your chi flow smoothly.